everyone. I'm thrilled to have you all here with me today as I review my applied research project that I've done at Purdue Global University on the topic of microcredentials and their impact on rural community colleges. I'm Brendan Mills, and I can't wait to go through this research project with you. So to tell you a little bit about myself is that I've spent pretty much my career working in the communication industry. I got my master's degree in communication, and from there I worked in public relations. And with that, I found that, there's a lot of people that have the skills and a lot of people that have the credentials, but not both. And one of the key things that really struck out to me is that I do all of these corporate trainings, I'll get all these small little industry specific credentials, but I couldn't carry those with me. And so that's what kind of got me interested in microcredentials. And through my studies here at Purdue Global and in leadership and innovation, I found that microcredentials really are that leadership tactic or that leadership innovation that can transform universities and colleges, specifically in the rural community. Because what I'm about to share could change the landscape of education in rural communities. And I'm excited to unveil the findings or my findings from this research project on microcredentials in rural community colleges. This project digs deep into how these innovative microcredentials can revolutionize educational outcomes and elevate workforce preparedness in rural areas. So to start off with an overview of the applied research project, what are microcredentials? Well, microcredentials, they're short, focused credentials or courses that are designed to provide in-demand skills and knowledge and experiences. Microcredentials can be earned through a short series of courses that culminate into a digital badge, which offers verified proof of competency and documentation of specific skills gained through the coursework, which can be assessed against transparent and clearly defined criteria. They can either be for credit and non-credit. Now, microcredentials, they're gaining a lot of traction in higher education as a flexible, competency-based approach to learning. And they're particularly beneficial for students in rural community colleges, where traditional educational structures and professional development opportunities may be slightly limited. So my research focuses on the role of microcredentials in the workforce, and we examine the potential that they have to address skill gaps and improve employability for rural communities. So some of the first research questions that we looked at was the impact on skill development. So how do microcredential programs impact skill development of students in rural community colleges and meet the specific labor market needs of those surrounding industries? We also looked at how the alignment to industry demands and to the extent that the microcredentials align to the immediate skill requirements of local industries and rural communities that they're served by these colleges. And lastly, we looked at how institutions can respond to the market demands. So how do rural community colleges adapt their educational offerings to meet market demands in a quick and effective way by implementing microcredential programs. So to do this, the methodology that I took was more of a comprehensive quantitative approach. And I used this to ensure that this research was credible. I collected data from established microcredential programs, including those from the Colorado college system and other prominent institutions. And then I used other surveys to gather insights from academic administrators, industry representatives, and even students. The survey findings, along with archival data, were applied to analyze the relationships between employer needs, student demands, and provide a nuanced understanding of the impact of microcredentials on the skill development and employability. So I then took these research findings or these survey findings to kind of look at each independent variable and understand the relationship that one another had on each another, such as student needs, why they were taking microcredentials, what type of skills that they felt like they need, and related that to how industry perceived those credentials or those needs, and what were the demands and the needs that they actually had, and tried to establish, was there a relationship? So diving deeper into each aspect of the research project, let's first look at the impact on educational outcomes. Well, microcredentials offer a module framework that allows learners to progress at their own pace, balancing personal obligations while acquiring specific skills. So this flexibility was found to be crucial for students in rural communities who often face unique challenges from accessing education. Findings from a study indicate that micro-credentials can significantly enhance a student's employability because they equip them with the targeted skills that correspond to local industry standards. And more particularly, rural colleges can really expand on this because they can adapt their current curriculum to respond to the current local market needs and create more qualified partnerships with local businesses. So this brings up one of the other key findings is that micro-credentials, they truly impact students' employability because they give them those targeted skills that also correlate with local industry standards. So it gives them, those students, verifiable items that they can prove that, yes, I have these skills and I've done the things that are required to not only obtain the knowledge, but also be impactful from day one. So another important aspect to implementing a micro-credential program is for policymakers to invest in digital infrastructures through technology hubs or centers that students in rural areas can use as needed. Because one of the challenges of rural communities is the lack of technology resources. And that is a key aspect of allowing micro-credentials to remain that level of flexibility that is crucial for the learning environment that they offer. So creating technology hubs open micro-credentials to rural students, and they create more equitable access to obtaining those job-ready skills the micro-credentials can provide. So now, micro-credentials, they represent a promising solution for workforce preparedness in rural areas. They offer flexible, competency-based education that aligns closely with industry requirements. They enhance employability and they address the skills gaps that were found by both employers and students. So the findings from this research, they highlight the significance of micro-credential programs in promoting students' progression and developing in-demand skills. And by investing in these educational pathways, we can empower our institutions and our communities, unlocking the world of potential that not only prepares individuals for the workforce, but also strengthens all our local economies. So imagine the future where every learner has the ability to self-market their own skills and use them in a way that they can take from one job to another and not just be locked down to what I found working in the public relations sector, to where my skills and my credentials stayed with one job. With micro-credentials and the digital portability of those things, they now go with you, and you can then build them into stackable educational opportunities to further increase the likelihood that students will continue and become lifelong learners. So thank you all for joining me today in this quick review of my research project. I hope you found it a little insightful, and I will see you guys later. Thank you.